Mike Genius here. Tonight we're tapping in with Fonz, a Brooklyn-based artist making serious noise with the release of his new mixtape project. We're diving into the genius behind the tracks, breaking down the creative process, getting to know the man behind the music, and finding out what this project says about where he is now and where he's headed next. From the sound to the story to the mindset, this is more than a release, it's a statement. So let's get into another conversation with the genius. What up, y'all? Conversations with the Genius. This is a special episode because I have my boy Fonz from
Hello.
Crown Heights. Brooklyn is in the building. He is dropping his new project, his mixtape called I Like the Way This Feels. First of all, before we get into I Like the Way This Feels, how are you doing? Because we got to talk. I have so much to say about this project, about you, about this whole thing. So I wanna get into it. Fonz, how are you doing? How have you been?
Well, in terms of like how I feel creatively, I feel like I'm at a really, really good space. I've allowed myself to dive into uh a sector of my creativity that I haven't expressed. And I'm enjoying that. I feel great spiritually, I feel great mentally, I feel, great socially, I feel great physically. I couldn't ask for anything better. I couldn't ask for more at this stage in my life, and especially at this time in my life.
Yeah, if you're tuned in, I'm sure whether you know Fonz or not. First of all, you said socially, so let's talk about socially because a lot of people know you. A lot of people really rock with you. A lot of people support you. Even when you posted your new album, I saw the love, I saw the reposts, I saw the shares. You know what I mean? We met in Philly on a random night at a game night at my friend's house. Shout out to everybody in Philly. And from that day forward, it's been nothing but love seeing you out
Literally.
and seeing you doing your thing. And I think the first time I saw that you did any type of writing, like you had a pen, was you had put out a poetry album. By this time, I think I've known you for a good 2-3 years by then. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, poetry, because I do poetry. You know, I'm really big into it. So I was like, I'm purchasing the book. Purchased it, fire. But then, just a few weeks ago, you going to post you in the studio rapping, and I lost my mind. I'm like, yo, whoa, what I do? DM you, what are you doing? What we doing? Release this now. Like, what's happening? Little did we know, a couple of days later, you was going to put the cover art and a track list of your project. First of all, why did you choose to call it I Like the Way This Feels?
It's just the thesis of the entire experience for me. It was something that I found myself saying in my head and out loud a lot. I don't tout that I'm an expert in any way, shape, or form in terms of like recording. A lot of it is very new, and the experience of just putting myself out there and musically is very new. I feel like I like to tease things here and there when I feel bold,
Yeah.
or when the spirit hits me, and I like the way that felt. Um, but I became more consistent. Started with like putting freestyles out on Instagram and just, seeing, what the reception was, all across my socials, to be quite honest, sharing it with friends and just kind of getting feedback. But once things really started, like once the ball really started rolling, and I linked up with my amazing producer, Tsunami, um, I was just enjoying how organic everything felt, from recording music, that an experience that I haven't really had before. Um, writing music I've always sort of done, but like putting it to a beat is something different, and then just watching how the sounds sort of like melt together, like going back and changing things, like the evolution of a song, everything just felt so good. So it was only right that I called it "I Like the Way This Feels," and I still like the way this feels.
I like the way I felt listening to it, and this is why we're having this
Oh.
conversation. This conversation is just to get behind the scenes of who's behind the genius that is Fonz. You understand what I'm saying? Get
Mhm.
behind what you were thinking behind these songs and really break this down because Imma be honest with you, I was shocked. I didn't know what I was going to hear. I didn't expect anything, but I definitely was shocked at what I heard. I
Mm.
didn't know you were so lyrical. I didn't know you were so hip hop. You get what I'm saying? I wanna ask you this. Do you because there's a genre of LGBTQ plus artists. Uh,
Mhm.
do you consider yourself a queer rapper, a gay rapper, a LGBTQ artist?
Yeah, I mean, I identify as queer. I identify as LGBTQ. I'm a gay man.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, it's been harder recently, or I should phrase it like this: I've recently grown to accept artists as part of my identity. I always know I was
Okay.
gay. Like, that's something that has been known for a while, that I've been comfortable with for a while. Um, but I think to kind of dive deeper into your question, I don't want any intersection of my identity to be where people feel like they need to pigeonhole me.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think in I think why I like this project so much is that, you know, your response was that you were surprised. I noticed for me, I never really liked being put into a box. And I could never really describe myself as one thing. And so I just want to be able to move and be fluid and be more aggressive and be more soft and be more sultry and be
However you
stronger and
feel.
like growl and you know what I mean? Like
Mhm,
kind of
mhm.
dial it back. Like I'm really very soft spoken. And so there's some like growling and shit that I'm doing on here. And I'm just like, like
And I think that's why. That's
I
why that's why I was in shock. Let's not get it twisted. I was in shock because how your persona is, "Hey, what's up?" You're very friendly, you very calm, and, like, on the
yeah.
tracks, you are going off. Like, you're going in, and I was like, "Whoa, what?" For real. Going in by the second track, I couldn't take it. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" But I mentioned the LGBTQ plus genre of music because I remember early, I'm talking about 10 years ago, 15 years
Mhm.
ago. And I want to give a shout out to a few people because I was there. I watched this. You know what I'm saying? Cake's the Killer.
Love
I watched
cakes.
Bryant,
Bryant.
Medino Green,
Yep.
Earth's Home, B Hood, and their group that was one of the first I guess LGBTQ plus rap groups. You know what I'm saying? It was a
Mhm.
pocket of guys that was not scared to break that barrier and say, we're gay and we rap, or we rap and just happen to be gay. And to
Mhm.
me, in the beginning, when I would hear, "Oh, I'm a gay rapper, queer rapper," I didn't like it. I used to be like, "Yo, you just a rapper." Like even the female rapper, male rapper thing, it's like, "Yo, you're just a rapper, you just rap." But I also get it in regards to genre as well. I also get it in regards to your audience and who you're rapping and doing this for.
Yeah.
So I'm glad these names I was naming, because I'm really
Mhm.
big on paying the homage. I'm really big on knowing
Absolutely.
what came before you. So the fact that you were saying, "Yeah, I know these people,"
Yeah.
is a dope thing because
Absolutely.
there's a couple rappers who have gotten famous lately, and I was listening to interviews and watching interviews, and they are telling me, and no, they're telling the audience that, they didn't know, they didn't even know, they thought they were the first, and I'm like, you're the first. Like you just happen to go mainstream and you're definitely in an era where it's I guess quote unquote okay, but it's a plethora of people before you that's been busting down this door. So the fact that I wouldn't say you're new. Would you say you're a new artist?
Yeah. I'd say I'm a new recording artist. I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
writing
yeah.
for years. Um, Writing is my first love, and it's been from narrative to poetry and prose to
Right.
editorial to, you know, academic. Like I've always lent my pen to a bunch of different things, and I've always known I was musically inclined. The recording aspect of it is what makes it new. But, you know, to kind of jump back a little bit, of course, I am only able to do this as boldly as I am doing it
Yes.
because I was able to see it be done before me. And man, having Cakes especially, like I've always loved his veracity. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
Like I've always loved it. It's sort of in the same way is how I was inspired by female rappers too. Like there was just a boldness. There was just a boldness that Kim had. There was just a boldness that Foxy had, that Nicki had, that like resonated with me. And black queer rappers and recording artists, they all laid the groundwork for me. Let's not
Yeah, that's
let's
not yeah.
not, you know what I mean? Ever
Everybody
take that,
right. We name a
you
few
know.
people, but it's a plethora. It's a
It's a
bunch of
lot.
them.
And I'm
Definitely.
from Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Like, we are New York is the birthplace of this genre.
To be clear.
The line is long. The lineage is very long, the list is long of names and people whose shoulders I stand on. And I hope feel, the homage, and I hope, you know, even though they don't necessarily know me personally, would feel proud when they hear it. Hopefully they do hear it. Just putting that out there, manifesting a collab
Definitely.
with some of my faves.
Definitely.
Um, but yeah, I love it all, and I'm proud of it all, and I'm glad to represent what I represent. And I hold tight to all intersections of my identity.
Well, I believe anybody, I don't care what your ear wants, it's undeniable when they hear your record. I'm not wasting my time. Like, I'm not just talking to talk. I'm gonna get straight into it because I pressed play and immediately I just was shaking my head like I'm doing right now. Like, when you hear a song and it just makes you start doing this right here, it's like, and then I'm listening to you and you just bar for bar going crazy. Your cadence, the way you're delivering. I'm big on delivery. I'm big on execution. Even people they be like, "Oh, he or she don't write they raps." You write all your raps, right?
Every single word.
Yeah, pen is pen
Every
is
single word.
pen is nasty. E even when they say they don't write they stuff, okay, whatever, right? Everybody needs a job. There's writers who don't rap or perform, and they need a job. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it's the execution for me. It's how you deliver it to me, and not only do you write, but you execute it very well. Listen, Rent do freestyle.
Yeah.
The intro. I feel like I feel like it's a great starter for the project. The beat is crazy. Uh you're really talking. And I want to know who you're inspired by because it just gave me when remember when rap was like mad and aggressive and you know what I'm saying? I could just imagine you in a bubble coat and some Timbs outside, just you know what I'm saying? Just mad. Like, what's your inspirations? Who you inspired by in hip hop, and what inspired that song?
So the interesting thing about Rent Due Freestyle is that it was not going to be like, it was something that came after the project was like almost finished.
Yeah,
Go, which is the second track
I'm gonna
on,
get there. I'm gonna get there.
I know, I'm not going to.
I'm gonna get there.
Go, which is track 2, was originally supposed to be the first track. It was supposed to be the intro track. But I reference a poem called Shadowbox
Mm,
on Go,
yeah.
and I don't know why I did it. I wanted to fill in that space. So I just, like, when we were in the studio, I was like, peace and quiet, just so I can shadowbox. And I guess that was me talking to myself from the future, because I was like, I kept hearing it and I was like, I have to put something there. Like I have to put the poem there. And the initial idea was for me to just spit the shadowbox poem a cappella and have that usher into Go. But the producer I work with, Tsunami, who's amazing. Shout out to Tsunami. 811 Sounds, he had this beat that he sent me. And I held on to it. And at first I was like, I'll put this in my back pocket. Like there's something about the way my brain works. It's like I may not have to use it now, or I may not have the desire to use it now, but I know I will come back to this. So I had that
Yeah.
in my back pocket, and I only had a couple. The Shadowbox poem wasn't that long, but I only shortened it. I need my peace and quiet just so I can shadow box. I'm trying to fight my way to heaven. I'm punching off the padlock, looking through the gates. I need a slice of paradise to put on my plate. Kingdom like the images of Camelot. And
Pen is
I
nasty.
I built a song around that. I built a song around that using that beat. And I was like, this is something clearly that doesn't have a hook. The structure of it was just sort of like three stanzas separated by a melodic, fade out or breakdown, if you will. And put, I'm just going to be three, I'm going to give a, subdued, uh, sublime, cocky,
Yeah.
confident kind of
Yeah.
delivery on the first stanza, if you can
Yeah.
call it that.
Yeah.
Second stanza, I'm going to be aggressive. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to come back to the calm. I
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to go on that roller coaster for some reason. It was very inspired. If I can, I don't know. I feel like it's so Mob Deep coded.
Nasty.
I feel like it's
Nasty.
so Mob Deep coded. And a lot of names are uh blanking on me right now, but when you hear and do freestyle,
You'll hear
you'll
exactly.
hear exactly where it comes from.
It's so New York City, it's
It's
so
so new.
gritty, it's so
Yeah.
the beat is hard and you're rapping
Yeah.
and Imma go straight into Go because
Hmm.
Go is very I need the story behind this record because it's very Onyx, Wu-Tang, that
Yeah.
chant
Onyx.
that chant like
Go,
rap, hip
go,
hop.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole like the hook was I kept rewinding it like this is so I needed this. You get what I'm saying? Breath of fresh air. So where did that energy come from?
Again, it was intended to be the first track, and so I wanted that energy. I wanted to start off with, like foot. I have this phrase that I've been saying as of late: foot to gas, belt to ass. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to start with that energy, and I think Rent to Freestyle definitely like has that.
It got it
But
ready.
yeah, it was very much a get ready, like I'm coming, like I'm accelerating on go. Um, but I heard this beat that I ended up sourcing from Ian James Beats. Shout out to Ian James. And it it referenced Dochi. Like I think the reference is
I could hear
Dochi.
that.
Um, and also shout out to Dochi. I admire her so much.
Another breath of fresh air.
Somebody that I would love to work with. Let's just put
Yeah.
that out there. But yeah, it referenced her. And I think when I saw that she was the reference, I was thinking Catfish, which is a track off Alligator Bites Never Heal.
Mhm.
And the way she's spitting on Catfish, she's kind of like she's talking like the niggas, and I wanted to carry that, but I also wanted it to be hype. I wanted it to be sort of motivational. I wanted to feel like I'm getting up off my ass and doing something, right? Like time's up, ready to roll. Stop playing a role. Like I'm just. It's time to go. It's time to
Yeah,
go. It's
yeah,
time
yeah,
to
yeah.
go. It's me talking to myself, to be quite honest. And I didn't necessarily realize it then, until I started hearing the entire project in sequence. And it feels very much like I'm talking to myself. But I love tracks like that, and I love that you reference Onyx, especially because it's that chant. Like there's that chant, and you just kind of want to, what I
Yeah,
mean, go,
yeah,
go. And
yeah.
it's very simple. It's a call to action. It
Yes, yes.
is a way to light the fire under your ass. Like I want people to hear that and be like, yo, you know what I mean? I want people to hear that, and I want people to just like rock and jump and like wave their hands or whatever the fuck. Especially that's how I was feeling in the studio. So
I grew up on that type of hip hop. My father wouldn't let me not know all of that. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I feel like you grew up on it too. I could hear your influences on just real hip hop. So who just real quick, who let you know that? Who put you onto that growing up?
Um, if anybody, like, I really do credit the men in my family. Um, I was always a very effeminate boy.
Mhm.
Um, the men in my family, though, did a really good job at not wanting to shape or mold me into being anything different, but at the
Very
same
important.
time, instilling and teaching me ways to hold yourself down and ways to, like, be confident,
Yes.
um, and not to impose yourself on others. No, like, it was just all of the good ways to, like, be a man and to be manly. I feel like I
Yes.
I sourced a lot of positive masculinity from the men in my life, and I
Love that.
enjoyed being around, like, my older cousins and my older brother, um, and just fucking with whatever they fucked with. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And music was a huge point of interest for me because music was always playing. My family's a very rhythmic family.
Same.
We're based in Brooklyn by way of Trinidad and Tobago, and so there's a multitude of sound. There's a blend of sounds that's just like flowing in and out of the house. Like, I
Yeah.
have family members who play the steel drum, so whenever we're around each other, like, the rhythm's always going. Um, they listen to a lot of rap. They listen to a lot of rap, and to be quite honest, I remember I remember there was one point where, I used to hang with my older cousin a lot, and he lived in Canarsie, um, but I was the youngest boy that was hanging around with, like, a
Yeah.
bunch of older
Yeah.
boys. They we were, like, they were freestyling, like, in the basement of my cousin's house. And, like, I wanted to, like, jump in, but I'm the youngest and I'm fairly, like, intimidated. Um, but I kind of took a shot at it, and I remember liking the way that felt. I remember liking uh I rhymed some shit like Chinese Connection, Tupac Resurrection. It was just like I was just
Going
rhyming things
crazy.
that
How
I
old was you?
saw. I
How old
was
was you
like
going crazy like that?
11.
Yeah,
I was
going
like
crazy.
11.
Yeah.
But it was just like things that I saw, and when I think back to that, like, how I can, not to toot my own horn, but, like, I just kind of retain information, and,
Yeah.
like, I the words just are kind of there. They're
Yeah.
kind of there for me to source and for me to place. And that's what writing is like for me. But, it really started with, like, the guys in my family and what they were interested in.
I wanna give a shout out to that because that your whole story just now, your whole answer, it just reminds me of we have a lot in common, and
Yeah.
we'll get into that on a personal level, but
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to the guys and the family and
Mhm.
then the cousins and the people who created a safe space regardless of whatever. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I wanna get into Ooh Baby, okay? Ooh
Yes. Oh,
Baby
baby.
is track 3, and, I want you to explain Ooh Baby because to me, if you were supposed to choose a single, this would be it for me. It's just
Ah.
smooth and it's radio friendly and,
Hmm.
it's one of those. So
Hmm.
explain "Ooh Baby" real quick.
I love that you called it radio friendly. The interesting thing is, like, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about things like that.
Mhm.
When I wrote "Ooh Baby," after I had connected with Tsunami, who also produced Rent Do Freestyle, he also produced "Ooh Baby," and another track that we're gonna get into. I heard the beat, and, like, out of a batch of maybe 5 to 7 that he sent, that was like an immediate yes.
Okay.
Um, and I think for me, when I'm writing a song, especially to an instrumental that I'm hearing, one of the first things I kind of nail down is the hook. And
Yeah.
so the the sample, it says, "Ooh, baby, you look so fine." So I wanted to, like, play with that. Like, after that fades out, you can clearly hear that there's a chorus, and so I just, "Ooh, baby, ain't nobody else in this room with you, baby." Like, I don't know. It just came to me. I wish I could tell you it was a more complex process than that, but sometimes it really is that instant. Um, and I wrote the song maybe in 2 days, and shortly after I was in the studio recording it. But it feels like uh, a beautiful experience of chemistry that you
Yes.
between yourself and someone that you're
Yes.
meeting, perhaps at a social event.
Mhm.
Um, and just kind of dabbling in the flirtation of it all, the possibility of it all, the almost and the mystique, of course, but like the allure, and it's fun. It's very summertime. It's very warm weather.
Very, very.
Um,
And
yeah, I love it.
it was dope to go from the freestyle to go and then hearing you kinda slow it down and
Yeah,
show that other side of you, which shows
yeah,
versatility, which
yeah.
shows that you are a dope artist. I'm gonna gas you throughout this whole interview, but I'm not gassing, I'm dead serious, like,
uh,
it's nice to listen to a project and every song don't sound the same, and you getting a different flow, a different vibe from the artist. Let's jump into
Thank you.
let me say something. When this came on and the way that y'all went back and forth and the
Ah,
way that y'all was going crazy on the beat and the way that y'all was bar for bar and just and what you were saying, it just made me wanna like, I don't know, this needs to be a anthem, a soundtrack to something. I don't know. It just was fire. The groove.
the groove.
First of all, you see it and you thinking groove, right? No,
Mm,
this is straight hip hop. This is pure we're rapping and we're not playing and you paid homage in it and I caught it and you you saying some things and ad libs. I'm like, okay, yeah, talk your shit. Like talk about the groove and who is that rapping up there with you? Who is that
First
rapping up
of
there with
all,
you?
yeah,
Because how
before I
dare you
even
come on a track like that and go crazy like that?
yeah,
So talk about
the
the groove.
audacity, the
The
audacity
audacity to
of
even get on
of
the mic and do that.
the groove is a very audacious, it's an audacious song.
Yeah,
And the person is none other than Naji Omar, who is an amazing writer, who is an amazing poet, who is an amazing lyricist,
went
clearly.
crazy.
And I'm so excited for people to hear that because I think that's going to be a standout. He is phenomenal. Well, I mentioned before, I have this sort of like back pocket mentality. Sometimes I went to see an early iteration of his play, of his production, Little Black Book.
Okay.
And in that early iteration, he is playing himself, but he's like rapping. He's rapping and it's staged as a freestyle. But his delivery was just so good. It was so Brooklyn. Like, and he's from Brooklyn. He's another black queer man in his 30s from Brooklyn. Um we bonded over art, right? And I was really fangirling, to be quite honest. Um but when I as I was putting out freestyles and stuff like that, he was paying attention and he was, expressing how much he had liked it. And I took that opportunity, like, hey, I would really love for us to do a song together. So when the time came, we flipped through beats. We flipped through beats and we landed on this amazing beat from Remdala. Um, and it is so outcast, very clearly outcast.
Is
But we make reference to the Fugees, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to the Fugees. I we knew we wanted it to be a dance. We knew we wanted it to be sort of like a rap tango of just bars, and he's going and I'm going and then we're going together, and then I come back in and then I jump out and he's jumping in, and then he's while he's doing his ad libs, I'm spitting. When he's spitting, I'm doing the ad libs, and we come together on the hook, and it's just it's
It's perfect, bro. It's a perfect record, bro.
I believe it's perfect. I believe it's
It's a
perfect.
perfect record, bro. It's a perfect hip
Thank
hop
you.
beat, bro. Like
Thank you. Yeah, Rem Dollar, shout out to Rem Dollar. Like, I ate that beat up, and I had to source it, and I had to, like, we had to, like, when we heard it, it was something that I have a long list of beats that just really
Yeah.
fuck with,
Yeah.
and some of them I've written full songs to, but I didn't really know what to do with this one, and when I played it for Najee, he was like, "This is it." He was like, "This
You
is
know
it."
when you listen to a song or a beat, and because you're a writer and because you're an
Mhm.
artist, you're like, the artist coulda did something. It's a pocket that the artist coulda went in and utilized this part in the beat, or this beat wasn't for that song. It should have been for this type of song, or and that's what I mean by it was perfect because y'all did what y'all supposed to do on that beat. Like it was no space left to like, oh, he should have ad libbed right here. It should have been a hook right here. Y'all went crazy until the
Yeah,
last word.
yeah.
Anyway, anyway,
I give a
anyway.
lot of credit. I give a lot of credit, especially in terms of like occupying, because I'm learning a lot about real estate and sound,
Yes,
right? Like,
yes.
and how to properly take up space, and sometimes you got to let the beat do what it does, which is why I like that when Tsunami went into mix, he had some parts where he's just like letting the beat do what it does. And it's really in the beginning and the end when the beat kind of like it's only just one track, like the thun, thun, dun, 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 and then it ends with just like a fade out of this very beautiful gumbo of soft sounds.
Yeah.
And you, if you heard that alone, you wouldn't guess that two niggas just ate it up, spitting bar for bar. But it feels good to hear. You know what I mean? I also give Tsunami credit for the fact that like he like let us know like to have more fun with it because it wasn't as full. But that's the magic of ad libs in hip hop, right? Like it's it's sort of it sort of subconsciously taps you to be like, okay, pay attention to this,
I
like to
think
make
it's
sure your
necessary.
mind, yeah, it's absolutely necessary. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah,
necessary.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yes.
is a perfect record. I agree. And
It's
I'm
perfect.
very
Like,
grateful
own that. Like,
that
own
you
that.
think
It's a
that.
perfect record. It's no funny. If it's like if you wanna know how to do a record and attack a beat and do what you have to do, listen to that. But let's move forward. You know what I'm saying?
All
For time's
right.
sake, let's move
Yeah.
forward. If you didn't name the album, I like the way this feels. I would have told you to name it Mark My Words. Not only
Ooh.
is it the track, but because even Mark My Words is telling you, like, I'm not like, mark my words, I'm standing by what I say, what I feel, what I am, and I feel like you're doing that. But I love the title of this album, this project. But Mark My Words, the song, and what the song is about, and it's not a fun be on the yacht beach record, but it sounds like you're on a yacht or on a beach talking to who you talking to.
Mhm.
And I need a video for that. So I don't know how we gonna figure this out, but I need a visual. I need all of us to go to Miami and rent the yacht and do the ones and the twos. But definitely,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Give me your story behind Mark My Words real quick, because again, we talking about singles, if that's where you was going, we talking about, you know what I'm saying, really doing it. Mark My Words is another one that
I
I loved how you sounded on this record.
man, first of all, thank you. Mark
No
my
problem.
words, mark my words, mark my words. It was oh man, it was something that was sparked by something I heard. I heard the beat, the producer goes by Mark My Words, and
Okay.
I heard his tag. So those
Mm.
were the only words that came with the instrumental. Um And I don't know why at first I thought that that was what the instrumental was titled, and so my mind just kinda took that and ran with it.
And right around with it, yeah.
Um, but the beat itself just sounds like a story needed to be told.
Yes.
Um, and if nothing else, I'm a storyteller, right? And I love telling stories and I love hearing people's stories. The story that was told in Mark My Words, um, you know, the feeling of loss, the feeling of having the rug pulled from underneath your feet, the feeling of all the bliss and the amazing whirlwind emotions that come prior to it. All of that is universal. I really just wanted to put a narrative behind it, and um, Mark My Words is a much. I always say Mark My Words is about the evolution of a promise. It
Mm,
takes on, the promise takes on one form in the beginning, but by the end, it's sort of like, oh, okay, this is a different type of promise you're making. And it's one thing to say I promise, and it's another thing to say, yo, mark my words. If somebody told me, mark my words, they're dead ass. They are
and not
dead
playing
ass.
and not
They're
playing with you
not
at
playing.
all. Yeah,
So it's just like, it was only fitting that, like I followed that spark.
yeah,
And the song was born from that.
yeah, it's my favorite song on the album.
Hey,
It's my
wow.
favorite track, and I think because it's personal, not personal, but,
Mhm.
it's I relate, and,
Yeah.
it's just deep. I love a deep record. We got the crew interlude, but I want them to hear that. So I wanna jump to Angel number 7, Angel introducing For True. Uh,
Mhm.
introducing meaning, is this the first time they're on a record? Is this the first time they're
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah, and
super dope.
I I love when a person's voice, like, has character. And, For True is a really good friend of mine. He's a really special person to me and someone I respect. His
Yeah,
pen
shout out
is
to For True.
phenomenal.
Yes.
But when he recites poetry, it's like you feel it. There's
Yeah,
an
this
octave that he sort of sits in, and it's like it arrests you. Um, Angel is a very sultry track. It's a very sexy track. It does tell a story, and it was born from a poem I wrote that was for all intents and purposes about myself. Like it was a fantasy that I
Mhm,
had
mhm.
about me, and I was like this sexy dancer with like latex boots and I had these shades on and I'm in this glass box and can't nobody touch me, right? Like I'm sort of deified in this uh exotic dancer
Mhm, mhm,
storyline.
mhm.
Um but there's one person that captures my eye and you know is calling to me in this we're calling to each other. And
Yeah,
so that chemistry is followed and yeah, I wanted to make sure that what could have been hooks sung by somebody, maybe even me, was still given justice. And the only thing I could really think of was having his voice as the spoken word breakdown for the hooks for the course. It just made so much sense.
it's very spoken word, and as a fellow poet, spoken word artist, and I like to do my poems over beats, and
Mm,
I love the poets that put the poem on a track, but not necessarily rap or sing. They really talking, but it flows. And then
yeah,
it's like the way y'all are, it's like hip hop, but it's also you're in your poetry spoken word
Def
bag.
Poetry Jam,
And it's
yeah,
very, very Def Poetry and very open mic, very Love Jones, very lounge. I just saw all of
yeah.
that. And again, we're on track 7. We done went through a whole journey of different like genres and different ways you could play with hip hop. Like this whole like anyway, I love that record, but now we at the end of the project,
Yes.
and I if you know Fonz, if you're watching this and you know Fonz, nothing I'm saying, if you know him, nothing I'm saying is crazy. But even what you said, this fantasy of what you have on and everything, Fonz, I've seen you in everything. I've seen you in every type of clothing, and you pull it off. So was it really a fantasy? Like you could really make that happen. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
could.
but but you are definitely this project to me is you. You are multifaceted and you are every type of thing. And I feel like we have a track for every type of thing, right? Because now we getting
Thank
into
you.
Don't Cry for Me, the last track, and it's a little more upbeat. It's a little more I could see the kids voguing to it. I could see a DJ making remixes, putting a beat going crazy behind it.
You're
I could
mine.
no, for real. I could
You're
see like,
mine.
but it's still very lyrical.
Mhm.
While you out there twirling and dancing and doing your ones and your twos, it's still a message. So
Yeah.
was that purposeful? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think a lyrical person cannot be lyrical, but was this the way, was that a homage to the scene and into our peers, into what we do, or what did it just happen that way?
The beat came before everything else, and the beat,
Yeah.
again, another one by Tsunami. I heard it, and I think his influence, or what he's sort of giving callback to, is the Neptunes. And
Mm.
you can kind of
Mhm.
hear that. It's very Neptunes. But it has a bounce to it that is so sassy. It has a bounce to it that is so like cunty. It has a bounce to it that is so, you know,
Yes.
Christopher Street, Chelsea Pier, you know what
An
I mean?
ode to
An
all of that.
ode to all of that. An ode to all of that. And I loved I feel like Don't Cry for me celebrates all of the best things that I love about my Black queerness, or just the Black queer
Yeah.
experience. Like there's a line I say in there, um, "Bitch, wait a minute, be crazy, I think I got a riddle in it. How many metaphors he fitting in a sentence? How many ways I gotta tell him I ain't into women, but I love me a bad bitch
Yes,
respectfully."
yes, I love that line.
Like,
Rewind,
respectfully, I
wait a
do
minute,
love a
what?
bad bitch.
Respectfully. Yeah,
It's just like it. And the
yeah.
way the beat is so colorful, the song is so colorful, but it's celestial, right? Like
Mm,
it's
mhm,
very
mhm.
cosmic. It's very ethereal. Like it has an element to it that makes you feel like you're floating. In the same way that like early 2000s club songs sort of made me feel, and
That's how I felt, friend.
the visuals that accompanied those songs beautifully illustrated something that was almost futuristic, but it gave you this feel good
Yes,
vibe.
yes.
The most important reason why I wanted that track is because I wanted it to usher out into like this abyss of sound that just make want people want to dance, right? And it definitely does allude to an upcoming project that's going to sort of follow that same format. So there's a method.
Of course, and I think when you're a visionary, because I had to really come to a point and accept that I'm a visionary. Like,
Period.
like sometimes you have to kind of own it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
visionary, as somebody who loves music, that's why I'm able to even know where you were going and what can
Mhm.
happen and all of that, because it's like, okay, I see the journey you took me on, and I feel like a lot of people just throw songs together, but I'm very intentional about how number one should come and two and three should come after two in the storyline. And that's why I think I love this project so much, is because it really takes you on a journey and it's perfectly synced. You get what I mean? And so by the time we got to number 8, it was like, okay, it's kind of like, okay, I gave y'all that. We went through this, but let's get it.
Yeah.
But this is an introduction to something else. So be ready. Like it left us wanting more. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
this was a 10, 11, 12, 13 track, but this one it was a perfect 8. You understand? And
Yeah.
eight's my favorite number, but it's a perfect 8.
Eh.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, because we're done track for track, but I really want to get into you real quick before we go,
Mhm.
if that's okay.
Mhm.
If
Yeah, of
that's okay.
course.
My first question is, why now? Why did you decide to put this project out now? Is it perfect timing? Did you wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm a rap. I could rap, so I'm gonna put an album out. Like, what was that? Why now?
Um, the short answer is, why not now, I guess, right? Like, there was this is a culmination of years of me working up the nerve.
Mm,
Um, I think rap is, while it is a very confident, generally confident, in your face, gritty genre, while hip hop itself sort of takes on that identity, that sort of stereotype, I guess.
yeah.
It is a part of me that is still it's still very vulnerable in essence. And people are not used to hearing me like that. So at first I had to work up the courage to be perceived as this other thing that people didn't necessarily know me as. And there are a lot of people in this world who sort of shrill at the thought of being perceived. You don't wanna be seen. Like, for me, that part, I wasn't really ready to show anybody yet.
Yeah.
And I've been writing to music for years. I've kind of been rapping to myself for years. Um, the affirmations that I've gotten along the way once I did start making my ability to rap public, um, really did light a fire under my ass. But that was 50% of it. The other half of it is the initiative that I had to take. But I really was listening to the way life was working. I was really listening to all of the creative spaces I had found myself in, all of the relationships I had started to build,
Yeah.
relationships that I had already formed from the past that are starting to take on a different life. And all of it is meeting at this place that is so usable for me, like a place that I need to just sit in. And that's where the music exists. That's where all of this exists. And so now that once I realized that I had all of that in front of me, that was the time. That was when I
It was the
decided, okay,
time.
this is the time. And I know that probably sounds very flowery, but that's the best way that I can describe it. Like, it was all this time me following a feeling and liking the way it felt. So yeah.
Yeah, and so what would you say to Fonz just a year ago, or Fonz 10 years ago, 20 years ago, little boy Fonz? What would you say to him if he was sitting in front of you right now?
Oh man. I would say you have something special. Um, you do know it. You know it. It's sort of I know it is a very quiet voice in the very back of your head, but you hear it. Um, and you're gonna do small things to amplify that voice so that it's louder to you, but accept that everybody else can see it. And you're gonna be told that you're capable of things, and you're gonna be told that you can do great things, but you have to continue to give yourself grace, um, and just accept the journey, accept the hiccups, accept, the imposter syndrome that
Yeah.
will come at some point. But there is a beautiful creative relief that's on the other side of that ownership of who you are and the greatness that exists within you. And when you step into that, you are going to create something that you're going to be so proud of. Um, and other people are going to be proud of it too. And that's just gonna be another beginning for you.
Fonz, are you proud of this project?
I am very proud of this project. I'm very proud of the project. I am very proud of all of the hands that made it possible, all of the creative minds that made it possible. Um, this was a community effort,
Yeah.
from the friends that told me they believed in me and supported me to the online community that I, you know, garnered and connected with over the years, to my family, to, meeting people like you along the way. Like, I'm proud of it. I am so proud of it, and I know I'm good at what I do. Um, and that
Mhm.
has
Own it.
nothing to do with how I want anyone else to feel about their work. I want everybody to feel like this. I want
Yes.
everybody to make something that they are proud of and that they are releasing to the universe and saying, "Okay, you poured all this into me. This is what I did with it." You know?
I'm really big on, you know what I'm saying, just not wasting. We're only here for a
Yeah,
second. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? And if you spent your time and you took your time and created a body of work, the same way I hit you up and was like, "Yo, I got your book. This is dope. I needed to have a conversation with you. I needed to know the genius behind this project because it's fire. I'm not gassing it. Like when y'all play this, start from the beginning and don't skip. Just ride it out. And like if you have to rewind, take it back to back in the day when we didn't really have, like when you sat there and had the CD or the tape and you rewinded and played and wrote down what he said. Like you're really a rapper.
Oh man.
No, no funny. I'm like for real. And anybody know me know I'm not just talking. So I ask everybody this. So first of all, hold on, before we get there, congratulations on the
Thank
project
you.
release. That's
Thank
that's
you.
that's first of all. You did your
Thank you.
big
Thank
one.
you.
The
Thank you.
producers, the features, everybody that had a hand in it. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
DSPs that's about to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout
Yeah.
out to all of them.
Yep.
Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody that had a hand in.
Amazon
You know what
Music,
I'm
YouTube
saying?
Music.
Shout out to your brothers and your cousins and your uncles and your people who, you know what I'm saying, put you on to music and cultivated you.
Mm.
Shout out to your friends and your family and everybody, you know what I'm saying, that had anything to do with Fonz. But I asked this question to everybody who I interview because I genuinely want to know, what is your genius?
What is my genius?
Yes.
Uh, like
What is your
like
thing?
what do I like, okay.
What's your
I
thing?
mean,
What
writing, my pen is my
your pen.
genius.
I was gonna say, I think your genius is
Yeah.
your pen. Let's
My pen is my genius. Like I've always said I was a better writer than I was a speaker. And I feel like I can explain things very well, but I think writing gives me the opportunity to be as vivid as I can.
yes.
Um, and it's very inviting. I feel like anything I do, I want people to feel invited. With this project, I want people to feel invited to the mood that I was in when I was writing the song. I want people to be invited into the story that I'm telling, the narrative. I want people to be invited to dissect lyrics. I want people to be invited to take a song and if you're a DJ or a producer, make an entire fucking mix out of it. That's exactly what I want, especially for Don't Cry for Me. Like I want people to hear it and be like, "Oh, I need to do something with this." Like
I
yeah.
first thing I heard was like, oh, a DJ could fuck this up. Like, you get what I mean? Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nasty. And I would love to hear that.
Well, Fonz, congrats on this album, this project, this mixtape. It sounds like an album to me. This mixtape. And I want the world to really sit with it and hear it. And this was a great conversation. I really, really love this conversation. And I hope the people that's listening and watching that took the time. First of all, thank you for taking the time to sit with us. Really got something out of it. And I need us to sit in person
Yeah.
on the couch and
Yeah.
really dive in because I have more questions. You know that. I have more questions. I really want to know the genius behind Fonz. So thank you again for this conversation. Conversations with a genius, the genius that is Fonz. And congrats on
I like the way this feels.
I like the way this feels. Congrats on it. And yeah, any last words?
Man, just share, support. Everything is a lot, but everything also means a lot. And so I'm very grateful. Just continue to support if you fuck with it.